Hello again everyone, my name is Sam Cosby, and today I'm going to be talking to you about RGB LED training. It's a little off topic compared to my last couple speeches of SIP communications, but that's okay. I assume everyone in here has a basic knowledge of binary and or are technicians and possible decorators. So let's go ahead and get started. So on the agenda today, we have what is RGB, some of the uses, examples of RGB, of those uses, RGB LED strip, which is on your handout, the controller and how it actually works, and then we're going to see it all together. So, RGB. RGB is pretty simple, self-explanatory. RGB, red, green, blue, is a color schematic or a color scheme that essentially spans the entire color spectrum. Now, the technical side of this is it's actually a programmable binary code that can be transmitted into a controller of some sort into the LED strip. So, for example, some of the basic ones, you have 000FF, which is a hexadecimal code from binary that is transmitted into the blue color, FF000, which is equal to red, 000000 is equal to black, and essentially so forth from the entire color spectrum up until 6Fs. So, some of the uses of RGB. The thing we're going to be talking to you about, I'm going to be talking to you about today, is the LED strip, which is essentially a circuit, which I'll get into detail a little more. But some of the other uses of RGB include color displays on your computer, a phone, or even possible projectors. So here's just a couple examples really quick of some RGBs and what they're used for. Like you see under here, it gives you that cool blue vibe under the bar, possibly on the house, and even this green emitting color in this bar. So, how does the RGB LED strip work? For example, the one that you can see on your handout, this is actually a GRB LED strip. LED strips can be emitted in essentially, whatever sequence they want through the company, as long as it has those three sequence of colors. So this one in particular, this is a waterproof one. This allows essentially, you can place it in any kind of environment that has liquids or anything like that. And on here, there's essentially 3 sets of LEDs. And from that, each one of these is its own flexible circuit board. And that's what combines the entire length of this 16-foot circuit. Now, some of the types of LED strips, there's analog, which is the one we're using today, which is a much cheaper version, which is essentially one giant long color. You can program it to whatever you want, depending on the controller that you have, or you can get digital, which you can actually program each individual LED to make it whatever you want, but it's significantly more expensive. Some of the other things, like I said, you can have as waterproof and maximum 12 volt at 60 milliamps draw per segment, which is the segment right here between the 2 soldered points. So, the RGB controller. The controller itself is what actually controls the programmable hexadecimal code. This is the example of the controller that I'm going to be using today. It's pretty self-explanatory. Some of the things, like I said, it has the RGB right here, which is what you plug in the wires from your LED strip into, and from that you have to have it obviously powered on. Now there's different types of power you can have. You can have it plugged in straight through the wall jack, or you can possibly plug it in through a battery into the 2 device powers, the negative and positive from the other side. Some of the things other things about this controller in particular, this one, you have 8 static colors, so you can program it. This one programs to white, blue, green, red, orange, yellow, cyan, and purple. Now, from those, aqua is the cyan. From those, there's also other modes that the programmable hexadecimal codes use, between a jump 3, a jump 7, a fade 3, and a fade 7, and my favorite, auto. We'll talk a little bit more about that one in a second. Now, like I said, one controller can last around 98 feet of LED strips, and so you can actually combine different types of LED strips as long as you place the wires in the correct position. So this one, for example, if you can see, this one is, like I said, it's a GRB, and I have it back at home combined to a RGB strip, which from that one, you have to use the solder points and connect it to this exact spot. Also, yeah, like I said, about 30 meters from that, outputs 144 watts and must have a 12-volt connection power to it. So here's the schematic on your handout that I have. So again, this shows a little bit more in depth on how the LED strips and the products can connect to each other. As long as the RGB segments from each one of those LED strips combine to each other, that allows for the sequence of the analog strip to work fully. This is a remote that can help transmit. This is why it's called an RF controller, radio frequency controller, that you can control the programmable code from. So, quick demonstration on how it actually works. This is the fun part. Okay, so start off, this is red, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You have the different colors again. You have green, you have blue, white, orange. This is the only color that's actually not allowed on the Jump 7. I don't exactly know why, but that's the only one. Yellow, aqua, and purple. And then here's the better ones, in my opinion, the jumps. So you have the jumps, and you can actually speed up, or you can speed down, depending on whatever you want. You have the fades, which are also pretty cool. You can also go between all the 7 of the 8 colors. Speed this up a little bit. It's pretty nifty. Jump between those. And if you really want to get it going, you can just have essentially a strobe light, which if you want to have a seizure, it's okay. And my favorite is this one, because preferably, here goes the music, or any kind of noise for that matter. So a little bit about that today. So again, LED strip, RGB in general, give you a little bit of basic knowledge of how you can actually utilize these in your home environment, or even if you're designing anything like a home or potentially a bar of some sort. So again, that's a little bit of basic knowledge on RGB. If you have any questions, ask me after this.